Jonathan Winters had a great quote. He said, if they finally figure out who you are, you're screwed.
The sudden and tragic death of the world-famous actor and comic Robin Williams shocked his millions of fans across the globe.
I don't know anyone who didn't love Robin Williams, whether they loved him as a comedian or as an actor. You know, he was nominated 4 times for an Academy Award. That's an enormous show of respect from his fellow actors, from the colleagues that he made in the movie industry. And I think he was universally liked, loved, respected.
But what lives on are the wonderful characters that this one-of-a-kind actor so vividly brought to life. This is Robin Williams' Screenlife, the career of a Hollywood and fan favorite.
He really kind of transcended the world of film. He was a man who could do it all, a film renaissance man, so to speak.
Robin Williams. His life inspired millions. His sudden death shocked even more.
The way he died was just so crushing. I find it so sad that a man who had this great gift and who gave us all so much pleasure, so much laughter, had demons in his life and that he couldn't lick, and became so desperate that he took his life. That's just so sad.
Reels and OK TV present Robin Williams' Screenlife. Robin Williams remains one of America's most famous and beloved stars. A full life cut short by suicide following years of battling depression and addictions.
We hoped he had a handle on things.
His wife announced after his death that he was also suffering from Parkinson's disease.
Did I see this coming? Did anybody see this coming? I don't think those of us who had this, cursory or somewhat superficial view of him, no, I don't think we saw it coming.
Welcome back.
Robin Williams, hysterical, that's a given. We just accept that the sun comes up. But I think a lot of people didn't know, and to a degree, I think Robin himself didn't know, that he had this incredible range of capability. And then people always point out, well, Juilliard-trained actor, John Houseman among his instructors.
Williams first found big fame as the funny man his fans adored. His stand-up comedy remains timeless.
Is it bleak not, my lord? Look! The moon like a testicle hangs low in the sky.
The Pope is always, homosexuality is an abomination. Time out. You're the Pope? Yes. You're dressed like Freddie Mercury's stunt double.
His range was unlimited. It truly was. There's nothing he couldn't do. He could sing, he could dance, he could improvise as long as necessary, whether it was 5 minutes or 2 hours. I really think of him as a unique talent, truly one of a kind.
I think people succeed in a lot of different areas, and I think people really succeed in the entertainment business if you put your energy into it. And, is that a quiet energy, the intensity of some actors? Is it, a more kind of flamboyant, crazy, razzmatazz thing? Robin Williams had all those different notes. But if I came away every single time, I was like, boy, he's trying. He's really, really making an effort. And it really works. So I think he raised the bar that way.
A Hollywood legend, Williams created some of the most memorable characters ever seen on TV, like the inimitable Mork in Mork and Mindy.
Mork and Mindy was essentially a spin-off of Happy Days. And the week that he spent on Happy Days as a guest star, Henry Winkler was described as the most incredible week that there was essentially nothing to write for him because he would just riff it all anyway. But people felt, this was truly, and this is what people in TV are looking for, a breakout character. So much so, there was a holding deal with Pam Dawber. They already wanted to do something with Pam Dawber, and then finally they found the person to put Pam Dawber with.
No.
There used to be this demarcation. You were a television star or you were a movie star, and movie stars were better than TV stars. He was a big enough TV star, starting in the late 70s, that launched him into the movies in a huge way. It was the launching pad to the movies.
It was like a machine gun spray of comedy. It was more than jokes. It was impressions. It was characters. It was voices. It was voices on top of voices. I don't know anyone else who's even in that realm.
He was also Mrs. Doubtfire in the 1993 hit movie of the same name.
Easy. Oh, damn. Calm down. Oh, come on. Hey. Oh my God, it's clotted. Oh, God.
This holiday smells like burnt rubber. God, it's hot in here. Look at this. My first day as a woman, I'm getting hot flashes.
In movies like 1991's Hook, he played the high-flying boy who never really grew up.
Who is that, Captain?
It's Peter Pan. Has it been 3 days? 'Tis true, Peter. Time does fly. And so do you, I see. How did you ever manage to fit into those smashing tights again, Peter?
Williams stole the show in the 1996 movie, The Birdcage, the gay nightclub owner whose son was worried about his upcoming wedding.
All right for you.
Now there's an idiotic issue. Gays in the military. I mean, those haircuts, those uniforms. Who cares?
No, you shouldn't be talking about things you don't know about.
Val, don't patronize your mother. She's an amazingly intelligent woman. I think homosexuality...
Lot more ice for you.
Lots more ice, Dad.
One of the things that's weakening this country.
Really? That's what I thought until I found out Alexander the Great was a fag. Talk about gays in the military.
How about those dolphins, huh?
He had a pretty amazing career and a durable one that could have gone on forever, as far as I'm concerned. There was just no stopping him.
How many people have sustained a 5-decade career? That's a very, very rare circumstance. That does not happen hardly at all.
Robin Williams was even the voice of one of the most famous genies the world has ever seen in the animated film Aladdin.
Almost. There are a few provisos, a couple of quid pro quos.
Like?
Rule number 1, I can't kill anybody.
Yeah, so don't ask.
Rule number 2, I can't make anybody fall in love with anybody else.
You little punum there.
Rule number 3,
I can't bring people back from the dead. It's not a pretty picture. I don't like doing it.
other than that, you got it.
I remember the weekend that Aladdin opened, and I drove by on Friday night, and there was a long line of grown-ups waiting to see the movie, not kids, grown-ups. Why? Because they'd heard how explosively funny he was in that film. Never saw him, but you sure heard him. And he sure made himself known in that role. From that point on, he just took every role that seemed to interest him in movies, whether it be dramatic or comedic.
And he even played an American president in Night at the Museum.
Sir Lancelot, at your service.
Theodore Roosevelt, President of the United States of America.
I have no idea what that means.
Good day.
And think about that for a minute. Robin Williams, who we first met as Mork from Ork, wound up playing President Eisenhower in Lee Daniels' The Butler, and President Theodore Roosevelt in the Night at the Museum movies. Who would have or could have dreamt that? I doubt that he even dreamt that would be possible, but he did do it and did it well.
Fans loved Robin Williams.
It's just so sad to see that somebody who made the world laugh and happy, and it couldn't happen for him, and that's just the most disappointing part, and he's going to be really missed.
And next, you'll see the side of Robin Williams that surprised his fans, but got him the most attention as a big screen actor.
My wife used to fart when she was nervous. Little things like that happen. Those are the things I miss the most. The little idiosyncrasies that only I knew about. That's what made her my wife. Oh, and she had the goods on me, too. She knew all my little peccadillos. People call these things imperfections, but they're not. Oh, that's the good stuff. And then we get to choose who we let into our weird little worlds.
When I think of Robin Williams, the words that come to mind are genius, lightning fast, and lovable. I was a huge fan of his. I don't want to put that in the past tense. I am a huge fan of his.
This is Reels and OKTV present Robin Williams' Screenlife. He was one of the most famous actors in the world and one of the few who could skillfully go back and forth as an award-winning comic.
What did you do this week?
Oh, sir, I played the Wizard of Oz. I gave the Tin Man a heart.
Is that another of your weird analogies?
Oh, no, sir, just a movie metaphor. See, what actually happened, sir, is there was this robot. He was nothing but a bunch of nuts and bolts, and I helped him become a person.
Robin Williams was also a serious actor. Fans discovered a new side to the funny comic when he first appeared in dramatic movie roles like this 1982 film, The World According to Garp.
Remember,
What, my love?
everything, Helen.
The same skills that fueled his comedy fueled his acting. Because in both of those roles, he drew on his observations of people, his understanding of what made people tick, his sense of absurdity in the world, and his training. Remember, he went to Juilliard.
Good Morning Vietnam earned Williams his first of 4 Oscar nominations when he portrayed an irreverent DJ.
All right. Hey, what is this demilitarized zone? What do they mean, police action?
Sounds like a couple of cops in Brooklyn going, no, she looks pretty to me. Hey, whatever it is, I like it because it gets you on your toes better than a strong cup of cappuccino.
What is a demilitarized zone? Sounds like something...
Where he really excelled were these sort of smaller performances.
Another Oscar nomination followed when he played a serious, free-thinking teacher in the film Dead Poets Society.
Thank you for playing, Mr. Dalton.
And then you just see him embarking on this body of film work, and it's these big movies that people know and little movies that maybe people have not seen. But the ones that touched people were the dramas.
Gentlemen, can you keep a secret? The Dead Poets were dedicated to sucking the marrow out of life. That's a phrase from Thoreau we would invoke at the beginning of every meeting. See, we would gather at the old Indian cave, take turns reading from Thoreau, Whitman, Shelley, the biggies, even some of our own verse. And in the enchantment of the moment, we'd let poetry work its magic.
Robin Williams' range as an actor was astounding. I mean, one moment he'd be firing on all cylinders, doing some crazy improvisational scene, and then the next he could be doing the most dramatic monologue in, Good Will Hunting or Dead Poets Society. He really kind of transcended the world of film. He was a man who could do it all, a film renaissance man, so to speak.
The first time I interviewed him was on a press junket for the movie Awakenings with Robert De Niro, which is a very serious film, and he was very good in it. And he was acting opposite De Niro, who was kind of a Mount Everest of actors. And he held his own, 100%.
In Awakenings, he played a doctor based on a real-life story.
Hello?
Hello? Dr. Sayer? Dr. Sayer, I've got to talk to you.
Leonard?
Yes. I think it's important. I think it's important some things were said. Well, I just got to talk to you.
What kind of things?
Well, things that matter, things that have happened to me, things that I've come to understand. Things.
Where are you calling from, Leonard?
Your office.
It's very late.
Is it?
Leonard, you stay there. I'll be right over.
Good.
The acting accolades for serious roles continued. In the widely acclaimed Good Will Hunting, he won an Academy Award for his portrayal of psychiatrist Dr. Sean McGuire.
It was real. You didn't think that was Robin Williams. And you really thought he cared about Matt Damon. And it was an extraordinarily convincing performance because it was gentle and real.
And that's the Robin Williams that I think of right away. Now, perhaps people outside U.S. and Canada who didn't see the talk shows, may not have seen the comedy work or the comedy specials, they may know him only as an actor.
Williams even made an Oscar-worthy speech.
And the Oscar goes to Robin Williams in Good Will Hunting.
Robin Williams has previously been nominated 3 times. This is his first Academy Award.
Thank you. Oh, man. This might be the one time I'm speechless. Thank you so much for this incredible honor. Thank you for putting me in a category with these 4 extraordinary men. Thank you, Ben and Matt. I still want to see some ID. Thank you, Gus Van Sant, for being so subtle you're almost subliminal. I want to thank the cast and crew, especially the people of South Boston. You're a can of corn. You're the best. I want to thank the Mashbuka Weinstein, Mazel Tov. And I want to thank Marcia for being the woman who lights my soul on fire every morning. God bless you. And most of all, I want to thank my father up there, the man who, when I said I wanted to be an actor, he said, wonderful, just have a backup profession like welding. Thank you. God bless you.
We're rooting for Robin Williams to win the Oscar because everyone likes Robin Williams. People all know him. He's among the bigger stars nominated in that category. And you wanted him to win because you didn't know what he was going to do on stage. And of course, when he went on stage to accept that Oscar, he really, really delivered.
Well, there was one more thing. It probably doesn't mean very much, but I think that Kay was getting scared.
Williams again scored more dramatic points in 2002's Insomnia with Al Pacino.
Randy knew who I was, not who I was, but knew that she had a friend, someone she could confide in, and that made him furious. She was always writing about how scared she was, and her letters were getting more and more desperate.
You still have any of these letters, by any chance?
You know, I probably do. Do you think it might help?
No, I do not think there's another Robin Williams. And no, I don't think there will be.
When we come back, more on Robin Williams, the man, the actor, the legend.
I think he was universally liked, loved, respected.
Welcome back to Robin Williams' Screenlife. Often thought of as a comic actor for his roles in films like Flubber. Robin Williams was a diverse actor whose comic instincts were matched by his dramatic acting skills.
It's hard to pick just a couple of favorites because he worked so much. His list of credits is astonishingly long. And I like some of his lesser-known movies, too. I like him very much in World's Greatest Dad, kind of a dark satire that he did for Bobcat Goldthwait. And I like him very much in 1 Hour Photo, filmed in 2002, where he played a friendly but kind of creepy guy behind the photo developing counter at a neighborhood store. who takes a more than casual interest in some of his customers. And he played him so believably that as I was leaving the theater, I thought, I know that guy. I know guys just like that. That's how honest and how true he was.
Whoa! Jake!
Hi.
I was just talking to your dad. What do you have there?
Evangelion.
Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Off camera, Williams was a man whose mere presence at a star-studded event was electrifying.
I also want to thank you for having Prince, William Shatner, Puff Daddy, and Mick Jagger on the same stage. That is the sign of the apocalypse. Thank you.
From a journalist perspective, Robin Williams was a red carpet dream. He was the kind of humble human being who made sure that every reporter was spoken to, got their soundbite, knew what his project was, why he was excited about it, and he did it with a smile and a laugh, and he made our time worth it.
And those industry insiders who met and interviewed him describe him as a true original.
There are a lot of talented people, and there's certainly other talented comedians who've proven to be good dramatic actors. But I don't know anyone, honestly, as versatile as Robin Williams, who could do so many different things so well. That's, again, what made him such an individual. I keep thinking one of a kind. He was one of a kind.
And a man who was always ready to deliver the unexpected.
A doctor's mission should be not just to prevent death, but also to improve the quality of life. That's why you treat a disease, you win, you lose. You treat a person, I guarantee you'll win.
Robin Williams was one of the most philanthropic men in Hollywood, and he did some of it quietly, and he did some of it very openly with his full heart.
You know, when somebody dies, you learn all these things about them. And I always knew and had always heard that Robin Williams was charitable. Like so many people, we saw him front, along with Billy Crystal and Whoopi Goldberg, comic relief for years and years and years.
But I come here for you, because I believe you're amazing.
He went over to Afghanistan and Iraq, and he did numerous USO tours. And something interesting about that is that he wouldn't just go on when his call time was announced. He would go into the audience hours before, mingle with every last one of the soldiers, and he would kind of get a feel for who they were and what their personalities were, and that would determine what kind of jokes he would do in the evening.
In the middle of just when I was finishing up, all of a sudden there was the retreat, which I didn't know what. And I was like, all of a sudden the entire audience went, good night. Scared the shit out of me. I was like, what do you know that I don't know?
And then you're hearing these stories of his personal generosity. I knew he was fond of and friendly with Jonathan Winters. I didn't know that he went to his house once a week to check up on him. I heard that he helped Christopher Reeves with his medical bills.
I get chills when I think of that story, because that's the kind of person that Robin Williams was. He didn't want to make a big fuss about anything. He didn't want to be the star, the center of attention.
I think he projected great warmth, because even people who didn't know him, hadn't met him, I think felt a kind of a personal connection. He projected that. He gave a sense, I think, of being just an ordinary guy with an extraordinary talent.
Robin Williams' real talent and genius remains eternal. For so long, he transformed his pain into dramatic acting roles, and certainly the gift of laughter, which he always shared with his grateful fans.
And you're going, wait a minute, Canada has gay marriage. Do you want all the gay people to immigrate to Canada? Then they win figure skating for the next 200 years. No!
I think we're going to remember him primarily as that whirling dervish of comedy, because it was so explosive. You know, even on the talk show, when he would go on the talk show circuit to promote a movie or promote an upcoming comedy special, he was always funny, always, reliably, never let an audience down, never, or an interviewer, never let anybody down. And that's the Robin Williams that I think of right away.
Is there some reason you don't do this? The fact that you get nervous? Do you
Very
do
much
many
so.
shows?
I suffer from severe dyslexia, too. I was the only child in my block on Halloween to go trick or trout. People go, oh, look, here comes that young Williams boy again. Better get some fish.
And that is what makes Robin Williams a one-of-a-kind Hollywood star.
There is not a comedian working today who is not familiar with Robin Williams' work, who isn't fond of Robin Williams. You only wish that he knew or was able to feel what everybody clearly feels for him. And when you say everybody, that's not a cliche. It is everybody. And to say he's irreplaceable, well, it sounds like a greeting card, but it's the real thing. He truly, genuinely is irreplaceable.
Thanks for joining Reels and OKTV present Robin Williams, Screenlife. I'm Viviana Vigil.
Goodbye, Vietnam! That's right. I'm history. I'm out of here. I got the lucky ticket home, baby. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep them wagon rolling, rawhide. Yeah, that's right. The final Adrian Cronauer broadcast. And this one is brought to you by our friends at the Pentagon. Remember the people who brought you Korea. That's right, the U.S. Army. If it's being done correctly, here or abroad, it's probably not being done by the Army.
I heard that.
Oh, you're here. Good to see you.
I'm here to make sure you don't say anything controversial.
Speaking of things controversial, is it true that there is a marijuana problem here in Vietnam?
No, it's not a problem. Everybody has it.
I don't know, Adrian.
Leo.
Adrian, take care of yourself. I just want you to know one thing. If you're going to be dressing in civilian clothes, don't forget pumps.
Thank you, Leo. Thanks for these. Oh, these are special.
The ruby slippers, Adrian. Put these on and say, there's no place like home. There's no place like home, and you can be there.
I hope we all could.